What is going on, guys? Welcome back to Young and Cool. Today we're looking at the 6 greatest Disney Pixar films of all time. At number 6, Toy Story 3. Ranking the 3 Toy Story films, all of which are wonderful, is nearly impossible, and there was so much disagreement even among this list. One of us had this as the best movie, and after all, you really can't go wrong with any of them. But we've got this one third, if only because the Great Escape type plot feels more familiar than we're used to from these movies, and because the ending resembles some sort of cruel Disney-funded Pepsi challenge to see if grown adults can keep from sobbing in the company of their children. Also, it's not fair, but the fact that they're making a Toy Story 4 does in fact hurt a bit of the finality of this one that made it so powerful. At number 5, The Incredibles. It was obvious. In retrospect, the director, Brad Bird, would move on to making live-action blockbusters. This is as exciting and riveting an action films we've ever seen in American animation. If all blockbusters were like this one, we'd never object to a 5th Transformers movie. The key to the incredible success is its economy of action. We're introduced to an entirely new universe, meet and empathize with a likable and close-knit family, discover the parents' quite dissatisfaction with what their lives had become, and then watch as everyone unites to overcome an evil force that wants to destroy the planet. It does all this in under 2 hours and never seems to be rushing or cramming anything in it. Take note, Marvel, you can create a world, balance a huge cast of characters, and still wow your audience without making them look up everything on Wikipedia afterward. At number 4, Toy Story 2. Toy Story 2 should have been a disaster, designed to be a straight-to-DVD feature, but then slotted for a theatrical release by Pixar Disney's bosses, who were much happier with the in-progress film than the Pixar brain trust were. The sequel had to be reconceived on the fly and rushed to completion, grabbing story beats that had been rejected from the original film. Miraculously, Toy Story 2 shows no signs of the panic that went into making it, expanding Woody and Buzz's universe without losing focus on the characters, laughs, or sentiment. This follow-up deepens the themes of the original while keeping a wistful eye on childhood's end. Joan Cusack is the MVP as the rootin' tootin' cowgirl Jessie, and her quote, "When she loved me" flashback sequence remains one of the greatest cries in Pixar's rich history of tear-jerking moments. At number 3, Finding Nemo. Director Andrew Stanton wanted to make a movie set in the ocean, but he also wanted to address his own guilty memories of being an overprotective father to his young son. So he made this emotional, exciting, visually gorgeous story about a nervous clownfish, voiced by Albert Brooks, on a desperate search to find his lost son Nemo. With the help of a lovably loopy Blue Tang, Ellen DeGeneres, Finding Nemo's lessons about the importance of letting our children live their own lives are only strengthened by how scary this movie can be. Stanton and his animators load the film with plenty of terrors. The opening remains a nerve shredder, and yet still insists that we have to learn that rather than smothering these we love, we need to release them into the scary world if they're going to survive on their own. At number 2, Toy Story. 20 years after Toy Story's release, some of Randy Newman's songs come across as creaky, and the once cutting-edge animation looks rudimentary. Otherwise, though, the best comedy of the 1990s remains perfect. Pixar's first feature is still the template for every great movie the studio has made since. Earned emotions, ripping action sequences, dead-on insights into human nature, and lots of giddy-witty silly laughs. Toy Story is so funny because deep down it's actually a very melancholy film. Woody and Buzz's battle for Andy's love speaks to everyone's fear of being replaced, as well as our own shared recognition that the innocence of childhood cannot last. As for the voice casts, they're impeccable. Tim Allen was never better, and even though Tom Hanks has won 2 Oscars, it is likely and completely appropriate that Woody will be the role that immortalizes him. And finally, at number 1, WALL-E. We went back and forth on the top 2 here, but we ultimately had to go with this one, the most original and ambitious of all the Pixar movies. The first half hour, which basically tells the story of the destruction of the planet and the devolution of the human race without a single line of dialogue, is total perfection. Its attention to detail and perspective, though it never feels cold or ungenerous, is impeccable. Then we get to know WALL-E himself and realize that he sees humanity for so much more than it has become and what it can become again. WALL-E is an unprecedented achievement, the absolute pinnacle of what Pixar can do. And not for nothing, WALL-E also happens to feature Pixar's greatest love story. They've never been better, and this is our pick for number 1. Alright guys, well thank you so much for watching this video of Young and Cool. If you enjoyed, do me a favor, hit that like button, subscribe, hit that bell, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Stay safe and have a great day tomorrow.